Hi, so this is our course, Rhetoric is Your Superpower with the Campus Without Walls program. I am your instructor. My name is Jana McCarthy, and I'm an English teacher in Boston Public Schools with Excel High School in South Boston. So you are taking this course along with the students in my AP Lang class. They are juniors and seniors, and we are so excited to begin. This is an 8-session course running twice a week. So if you're taking this asynchronously, welcome and let's dig in. This should be your pre-work your pre-work video lesson, and really it's getting you up to date with rhetorical claims and rhetorical appeals. So for some of you, you might not need to pay attention that closely as we work through it. You may already have learned this information and it's probably top of your mind. For others of you, this may be an introduction or a review. So you can take this video how it makes sense for you in your own learning based on where you're at. So this was just our quick welcome. We are working with this thing called rhetoric, and I did include the pronunciation here. It's like rhetoric. I say rhetoric, and so rhetoric. And it's fun to say. Something is rhetorical, like a rhetorical device. And I like to think of rhetoric as all the tools that you can pull together, right? Like claims and appeals and devices and choices with language. And language is so powerful that you can actually mold language into manipulate ideas and persuasion and to convince people of something, a strong belief that you hold. And so rhetoric started with the belief of Aristotle. And this is just a quote. Rhetoric is speech and used to defend an argument and to build reasoning and to really pull people to your belief. I like this quote of Plato's where it's not an explanation. Rhetoric, we're not here to necessarily instruct or explain. You are here to use words and how you put words together to persuade. And there is a distinction between explaining, instructing, and persuading, right? And you are like jumping up to persuading. And that's powerful. That is powerful, to use and pull words together to move people's hearts and minds is power. And you are empowered when you do that. In this course, we're going to focus on producing what is called an op-ed. And an op-ed has a hyphen between those two sounds, those two syllables. Traditionally, op-ed was used as a description for what is written on the opposite of an editorial page of a newspaper. We have morphed way beyond that into a world that is way beyond just thinking about writing in newspapers. And so today we're really thinking of an op-ed as an opinion piece of writing that is strength of voice, it is informative, and it is focused on an opinion and strong belief of the writer. So I gave you some more indicators of an op-ed, very clear points, a clear argument, and including a counter argument. We'll get into that, what the opposing viewpoint is, as a way to strengthen your own argument, and including evidence. So including research and sources that you find that can actually back what you say and make your argument stronger with that support. This again is where we're headed. So we have 8 classes, and as we go towards class number 8, you will have produced a 400 minimum word count of 400 up to 600-700, right? A piece of opinion writing that uses appeals, and I'm going to go over that today, and claims and devices that you'll learn later, and incorporates that as you think about how to use language to persuade someone to believe what you believe strongly about, a topic that is close to your heart, where you want to convince people that there is a problem, right? There's a problem that exists for you and for others, and you want to convince people that it exists and that it needs to be solved. Something needs to be changed. And that is the heart of your opinion piece. How will we reach that goal? We will be reading other op-eds, and these op-eds are related to the broad and important and urgent and immediate topic of our conversation as a world on reckoning with race. And we're going to dig into some immediate, some really recent op-eds, and these writers are contributing to our global meaning making of what we're talking about with the reckoning on race, way beyond in America, in the United Kingdom. Some of our articles come from Britain as well. These are the articles, and they're also in your course notebook. So your course notebook sort of looks like this. It has been or will be assigned to you on the space where your teacher assigns work to you. That could either be Google Classroom or OutSchool for Campus Without Walls. And so it's located in here as well. This page with a lot of links. I had so much fun really choosing voices and topics and opinions that are relevant and really close to my heart, but also I think relevant to a lot of young people, especially in the world that you want to live in and the society that you would like to participate in as a citizen, as an activist citizen. All right, so we are going to jump into this one right here. Take a moment to locate your course book on the site where your teacher assigns work. Again, it looks like this, just so you have it and you're a little bit familiar with it. These are the assignments for our course, just as a preview. We only have 8 sessions together. The last 4 sessions are really taking you through the writing process, focusing on specific writing skills that are necessary for a really strong op-ed or opinion piece of writing. The beginning of the course focuses in on how do you find a topic, how do you do some quick writing or brainstorming around that topic so that it is authentic to your voice and your vision and your heart for what you believe in a topic, and asking you to read 2 op-eds on your own from the list of 24 in your notebook. So we're going to begin with rhetorical appeals and claims. And again, this is the part that if you've already done this work in your English class, you can either double speed me or kind of skip over if you feel that you understand. If not, just go along for the ride. So we have 3 different rhetorical appeals, and this is appeals because ethos, pathos, or pathos, depending on your tomato, like how you say your word. Ethos, pathos, logos are the way that we appeal, right? We are trying to always persuade, and I have to have the tools to persuade, right? And in order to do that, my main tool is language, but I have to manipulate that language. So one of the ways that we do that is choosing a rhetorical appeal. In fact, in any given piece of writing, you are always going to have ethos, pathos, logos. You might not know it when you write, but we do this when we speak. We use them automatically when we talk with people, when we convince people. And we do it all throughout the day, right? All the time. We just don't name it and say, oh yeah, that's ethos and that's. So we are going to use all 3 of these intertwined in our writing. Ethos, I want you to think about as expert, authority. So it's an expert voice. Pathos is the path to the heart. It is emotion. Logos is the reason, right? The logic. And when we think about this in our writing, this very bottom row here with the dashes around for the box, we're thinking of speaker, right? Or writer. You as a writer are an expert in what you're talking about because you're going to choose a topic that is very close to your heart and that you have lived experience with and you've done some research on, right? As we move through this course, you're going to do some searches on Google and find other sources that you can use that agree with you and some facts, figures, graphs, perhaps, if you'd like. But you have to believe that you are the expert in what you're writing about, always. So you bring ethos to the table. And then you're trying to appeal, right, to your audience and bring them in with that emotional pull, that connection to the heart, that, oh my God, I feel that, right? And then logos is really like, what's your message? What do you want, right? And what kind of logic making, reasoning are you going to use to bring your audience to your belief? I really do like this chart and thinking through what is really logos, right? I like it because it gives me some examples right here. It is tiny. You can always zoom in going to your magnifying glass and, to 100 or 200%. So please spend time with this. It is also in your course notebook. This is just an overview of how I like to think of ethos, pathos, and logos and remember them, right? So take a look at this slide. You may want to pause it and read it. This is an image that I like because it lets me understand real quick, okay, pathos, path to the heart, emotion. The logic is like what you hear in your reasoning, right? And they put ethos as your sight, but I like to think of it as expert, right? So that clarity of sight coming from an expert voice. We're now going to move to claims. So just like there are 3 types of appeals in rhetoric, the art of manipulating language to persuade, there are 3 types of claims. And again, you read these all the time, you speak these all the time, write these all the time. We just don't sit back and name them. So we're going to name them today. Claim of fact, claim of value, claim of policy, okay? And so here are the definitions. If you take a moment to read through these, and then I will also visually show you what each one means. First of all, we have to work with the knowledge that we have to have a claim that is debatable. Really, it has to be an assertion about an issue. And I like thinking about the word assertion. It's really like this strong declaration, right, about something that is debatable. That's a claim. So make sure as you test out claims as you're reading and you're identifying them in op-eds and as you are writing your own op-ed, is it debatable? Am I saying it with a strength of voice, right, that I understand this claim? And you can pause and read this slide in more detail if you wish. We're going to begin with claim of fact. Now here's the thing. It is not just a fact. It has to be a fact that is connected to an assertion, right? It's connected to something that, again, has to be backed up by an assertion, a strong belief that is debatable, not just a fact alone. And then I gave you this example of, which one do you think is the better claim of fact? So take a moment to read that and decide, okay, which one do I think has that debatable strong belief with the data or with the numbers or with the example? And you can take a moment to think through that, the pink or the green. All right. So we're going to go again. We want to consider why. And so if we look at the pink one compared to the green, the pink doesn't have like all these numbers, right? It could. You could actually add in some of that to strengthen the pink. However, the pink has a universal idea, which is this abstract idea, right, that holds deeper meaning. So when we see decreasing carbon dioxide emissions from the car exhaust, manufacturing processes, fertilizers, and landfills while slowing deforestation may help slow the process of global warming. Okay, so you're pulling out these universal ideas from the facts and you're putting it into a statement. You have decrease of these harmful things, okay? And then you have slowing down the deforestation, the process, right? And then you are also slowing this other process of global warming. So it's taking the facts further and it's making a debatable statement about those facts, and that is a claim of fact. Going on, we have claim of value, and this is something with an argument. Again, it has to be that debatable statement, and really think of something is good or bad, or one thing is better than another. And when you see those in writing, that is the claim of value. And then this asks you to rank 3 claims of value on a scale of 1 to 3, with 3 being the strongest, right? So if you were to pause the video and think, all right, knowing that it is a statement that is grounded in an argument or a debate, right? Debatable statement. It is saying that something is either good or bad, and then one thing is better than another. So again, it has to have the universal or abstract idea in it that makes it this debatable claim, this assertion. So take a moment, do what you feel is right based on what you know so far of claim of value and of assertions, to rank this in the order of 1 to 3, with 3 being the strongest. Okay, so now that you have ranked, I want you to think about, where is the good versus bad in each of these statements, right? So, okay, it is broken, okay, sure, but which one has a stronger debatable statement with it? And so this comes from Representative Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts. It is the first op-ed in your list of op-eds in your notebook, okay, on page 8, called "Now is the Time to Make Good on the Promise of Justice for All," if you're interested in reading that one. And that comes from this. And so I want you to think, well, what makes this the strongest claim of value? This one says, let's look to places like Sweden for how our legal system can work better. So there is an indication that, okay, Sweden has one thing better than another, right? But where is that universal idea that makes this a debatable claim or an assertion? And so I want you to find how this one is different than both of these two, right? Okay, so we're going to move on. And again, claim of value, think about which words signal good or bad, or one thing better than another. And your signal word, right? If you look at this, rather than, okay? But on either side of rather than, there are these deep, debatable, universal ideas, these assertions and claims, all right? Collective freedom, oppression, okay? It's a scale, one thing better than another. This is just saying that it's worse. Okay, but in comparison to what? So we need that, yes, it's significantly worse, and finish the thought in comparison to what? And then again, okay, but how does that compare to something else? So these are great starts, but just continuing it a little bit more with some detail. We're going to move on to the third claim. Claim of policy argues that certain conditions should exist. That is a huge key word, should. Something should be done, and then you're solving a problem with the claim of policy. So you have those should statements. So for claim of policy, again, taking from Representative Pressley's op-ed, we have these 3 claims of policy. And there's actually 2 statements from Ayanna Pressley's op-ed. So pause this and think about which one of these 3 is the strongest for a should exist, should be done, should not be done, in order to solve a problem. This one's a little bit of a trick because I believe you can argue either the pink or the blue as being strong or the strongest. She's using a different word for should, must. So, it doesn't always have to be that should, although that is a huge indicator of claim of policy. But that is another example of something that should exist or should be done in order to solve a problem. So this one, I want you to pause and read this, another quote by Ayanna Pressley, thinking about which is this, claim of policy, claim of value, or claim of fact. So pause and think through that. So after you have paused, thinking through, well, I see the 200 billion, right? And that is clearly a fact. And there is this assertion around it, this argumentative, debatable claim, a strong claim, right? But then I also see this should, and her words that something should exist towards finding and building a solution. And then a claim of value in there. She starts with the signal for a claim of value rather than this, okay, this needs to happen for this to occur, this solution. So I like this one because it's not always one or the other. You can, as a writer, and I encourage you to do this as a writer, blend. So you're blending policy, value, and fact together. And that is a writing choice. Very, very strong. This is just a strong claim, and it has pieces of policy, value, and fact. So for our first day, okay, we are going to think about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who writes amazing op-eds. If you go to his website, he has a lot of writing to offer. And we are going to work through his article that is linked here, bit.ly Abdul-Jabbar op-ed. And we are going to look for one claim, fact, value, or policy, or a mix of them. We are going to identify it as fact, value, or policy. We're going to do the same thing for an appeal, ethos, pathos, logos, or perhaps even a mix. And then we are going to post each of our one claims and one appeals onto this Padlet. And so the way that you post it is at the bottom, or right here under the column, you see the plus. And you're going to put, that you could even put part of the claim up here, right? And then why it is a claim of fact. Okay, so I would put the quote here and then put the why here. And then you're done, and then do one for ethos, pathos, or logos. So we're going to do that class 1 just to give you a preview. You can work by yourself or independently or however your teacher would like you to work. Class 1, we are also going to think about what are some topics that are on your mind or in your heart. There's a lot of stuff right now that makes me mad and that I would like to see changed. And so I have 5 things that I could put up on Padlet. And I want you to look here in page 4 of your notebook at some of these questions to kind of get you thinking about some topics that you may be interested in. Look at your social media posts. Go on to do a Facebook search for topics that you're interested in, or Instagram, and locate a video or article doing a Google search, right? And you are going to go to this Padlet, bit.ly/topics, plural, Padlet. Looks like this, and you're going to throw up your 5 of your topic ideas. I put this one up. The racial wealth gap has been on my mind. All you have to do is put the words of your topic. And then I'm going to ask you to link whatever piece of information, either from social media, like I said, or Google search, video, YouTube, and you can add it here by clicking the 3 dots. And really, it's up to you. I mean, I guess you could even record yourself talking about it, but it is nice to have some tangible piece of research from another source that you're linking with your topic idea. It doesn't mean you have to do these topics. What I'd like to see are a bunch of different topic ideas with a bunch of different sources or research pieces that you found. Then that way, as a community, we can look back and say, oh yeah, Annalise put that one up, and Lee put that one up, and Renee put that one up, and I want to kind of dig around with that. So that is where we're headed for the first course, the first day, getting into thinking about our topic, knowing that if we go back to our course book and we take a look at when things are due, which is really the beginning of the course book, The 5-topic brainstorm on our topic Padlet is due class 2 when you come in the door. If you need to watch, obviously you're watching this, you've gotten that far. Your topic is due class 3. And so we're going to get you to the point where you can look through everybody's topic ideas and hopefully grab one, and one that is close to your heart or one that you came up with. And we're going to continue from there. So I cannot wait. I'm so happy that we're doing this. Thank you for being a part of this course with our students from Excel High School.